now we're going to talk about the cards and gems, and not just that because there's hardly anything to talk about. We're going to talk about the general monolith changes coming to minions, structures, the buffs and everything they're doing there. In this video, the last one we did talk about all the hero changes, should be up already, linked down below somewhere, and probably in the first comment I've linked, so do give that a shot. But yep, here we go, and now we're going to talk about the gems and cards. Now let's go to cards. Core of the Week no longer executes minions. They reworked it, haven't they? Yeah. It now increases minion execution threshold by 50 health. So I guess that means that to last hit a minion... Oh yes, because they've changed the way minions work. It's basically a minion needs to be under 20%, roughly under the 20% health for you to last hit them. It now, what Core of the Week does, adds a 50 health threshold onto that too. So that means it's just going to be a little easier to use last hit people, which, let's be honest, isn't going to be an issue. So then for death we have Lord Voltstock, which is reduces gold lost every 10 seconds from 100 to 85. I think this was the curse card, wasn't it? I believe this is the curse card, that you lose gold but you gain experience, I think. Yeah, I don't know what's much to say about that. Stagger Trap now also deals ability damage to the rooted target. Kind of cool. Nice little buff. Form Jeremy now actually properly works again. That's great. It's nice a card is working. And then we have Tireless Reaper, which fixed an issue where it would not reduce the mana cost of the next ability cast if purchased while dead. Oh, wow. So that's very, very nice that they've changed that. I didn't even realise that was a thing. So honestly, they haven't really changed much for cards and gems at all. Even though there's not like huge changes they really need to do to cards or gems, to be honest. I mean, I'm not saying it's perfectly balanced at all, but that's alright, actually. I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that. Overall, there really isn't any changes here to even note for cards and gems. I mean, Spell Shield no longer removed when Grayson blocks a basic attack with his deflect ability. That's good. I like that. That's a little bug there. So overall, cards and gems, there's really nothing to even talk about here. Core of the Week and Minion's last hit changes are definitely the most controversial changes this patch. I can't even farm properly as a carrier without Core of the Week. Nimi, let's be honest, that's not a surprise. I'm going to just say it right now for the Minion Changes. When you damage a minion below 20% health, that minion will be executed and you will be rewarded with the last hit. And I think with the UI there's like a red health bar, so you can actually see... Yeah, it says here, a minion's health bar will turn red when a player's next basic attack will execute that minion. I do like that change. Makes it a bit easier to understand. This change right here, everyone's complaining about already. In my opinion, I feel we have to wait until we play the patch on Wednesday to actually know if this is going to be a problem or if it's not going to be a problem. I'm going to put it as it is, simple enough. I mean, if it is, everyone's going to complain and say this is ridiculous, this is too easy, it's not fun, you know. I'm like, okay, I'm going to play on Wednesday. I know everyone's going to complain no matter what, but I'm literally just going to wait on Wednesday, play a few games and feel, is it just to the point where I don't even have to worry about minions at all, and I can just, you know, just focus on hero action, which is a problem. You always... In lanes, it's always about minion management, being able to push your lane or to be able to push your lane, for or against you, and being able to outfarm your opponent. Like, the best thing about mid lane is that you may be evenly matched. You haven't killed each other, or neither of you have been ganked. But if you have 40 last hits and the other guy has 20 last hits, you are outskilling that opponent at last hitting, and then you're going to slowly get an advantage. So if they kind of take that away to the point that anyone in mid lane, for example, can pretty much last hit, and doesn't matter how good you are at it, you only want to focus more on hitting the enemy mid laner, get rid of buffs and gank, then that's going to be a big problem. They need to, it's a very fine line of making it too easy and you don't even have to care about minion management at all, and making it so it's not really hard. And I hope this isn't the wrong move. Again, this is only the first change. The next step is the full redesign of minion art, which is very much needed. I'm very looking for that. So they've increased the health of green buff and large white minions. I guess that's cool. It's going to be interesting to see how that changes the jungle. And the black buff as well, how the black buff's dynamic has changed. So first for the structures, the only thing they've done is the core has been reworked. It's a single target, just like towers and inhibs. Deals 300 damage per attack, and attack speed depends on how many inhibitors are lost. The more inhibitors are lost, of course, the slower it will fire. It's going to be very interesting how that works with multiple like minion waves. I don't know how that's going to work. Then we have black buff. Added a new black jungle in the offlane jungle, which grants Hunter's Sight. Hunter's Sight. Basic attacks, slow move speed of enemy heroes. Melee 20%, ranged 15. Grants vision of enemies in a large radius around you. Does not reveal shadow plane units though. Shares the same health and damage values as green buff minion. That's very interesting. So basically adds a slow movement speed on enemy heroes. I think that's going to be great for ganking, of course. That's going to be fantastic for ganking. Grants vision of enemy heroes in a large radius around you. When it says does not reveal shadow plane units, does that mean people with buffs and Kalari, I guess? You can't actually see them? It means the offlane doesn't need wards. Technically, I mean, it's always hard to get wards as an offlane. Let's be real here. You can't really. I like the black buff. I feel the offlane needs a buff to make the role better to play. Exactly. It always needed a buff offlane. I'm not sure this is going to be the buff, but it's going to help the offlane, and it's also going to help the jungler actually one-to-one go to the offlane side of the jungle more and help actually gank the offlane too. Because this is great for ganking. Like, the green buff is to help you farm in the jungle, the black buff is to help you gank, and I really like that chemistry there. That's really cool. Now let's go into Fantooth. The Ratchet Camp has been replaced by Fantooth, which is basically a T-Rex. Even though they call it Raptors, some people call it Raptors, it's a T-Rex. Killing Fantooth grants the entire team a stack of Mark of Fantooth, which I hope you can see on the UI so you know how many stacks the team has, which provides buffs based on how many stacks the team has. The first kill gives you 4 power and 1000 gold. The second kill gives you an additional 4 power and 10% out of combat movement speed. Third kill gives you another 4 power and 15% non-hero damage, so damage to minions or prime and structures. And the other one gives you plus 8 power with every additional kill on Fantooth. Attacks Plight a Burn, which deals 3% of current health per second as ability damage. Fantooth and Prime Garden now have in-world point of interest icons to reveal whenever these objects are alive. Visual and audio updates will be made to increase awareness regularly of these objectives. One is going to actually make Raptors viable. I think it may be a little bit overkill. We don't know the time on Raptors either. If it's going to still be 10 minutes Fantooth spawns, or if it's going to change. I feel the power, it seems really, really strong. I feel it's going to be one of those things where if you aren't a good team and don't communicate, and the enemy team gets 3 of them and you get 0, then I guess you should be punished. Let's be real here. If the enemy team is able to get 3 Fantooths, and it seems quite a strong buff, not as strong as all, but pretty strong still, and you're going to need probably 3 to 4 people to engage on Fantooth. Let's be real here. If their team is able to get 3 of those kills without you getting one, or even counter attacking them, you know, if your team don't even try to attack the second they get it, then sorry, but you deserve to be at such a different advantage, in my opinion. It may still be a bit too much of an advantage, but I guarantee no team's going to get more than 3 kills. Let's be real here. No team's going to get more than 3 kills. Unless it spawns really quickly. Because by the time you get 3 kills, if you have an advantage to get Fantooth, you might as well just get all prime and then win the game. I think it's just to help those teams like stomp roll more. If you're a really good team and the enemy team isn't there, you can just literally go in and kill them. All these buffs are permanent, exactly. That's what really makes them super valuable. Exactly, they are permanent. And that could be huge. Which one is going to make people want to engage with it? That's good. I just hope it's not too good. And it may be a little bit too good. And especially if you're on the I hate the kind of teams where you try your best to get everyone to fan freaking Tooth, and none of your team do, and the enemy team just go in, take it, and come out, and you're like, guys, if none of us take Fantooth, we're dead. So I hope they really work on that. And that's pretty much it for the main stuff here. They've renamed some stuff here, which is what they've done. But that's pretty much it. Exactly. applies damage over time. Swiftness buff, blue, increases movement speed. Shadow Orb grants Shadow Plane while active. Yep, and that's pretty much the whole core of this. I mean, they've talked about the UI changes, which, I mean, let's be honest, I ain't going into all this. I mean, you can read it for yourself, bloody hell. They've added hotkeys, especially if you want to quickly buy attributes. That's going to be great. The only other main change they've actually done is slows. So movement slows won't stack. However, movement increased speed boosts will stack, but slows will not stack. So as they say here, if you have a 50% slow for 1 second and a 20% slow for 3 seconds, you only will get slowed for the first second by 50% and the other 2 seconds 20% instead of 70% at first. I guess this is just to balance it out. But I think that's pretty much all it does for the main video itself. Again, there's the full notes, but I mean, we ain't going to look at all of that. Overall, for the whole changes, really happy. The only two issues is the Twin Blast chains and the last hit chains. That may be good or not. But overall, it's really exciting to see changes. Am I right? Like, seeing these big changes happening and realizing this game's actually finally happening is awesome. I can't wait for it. So, if you're watching this video and not stream-wise, thank you all very much for watching this one. I did one again on the hero changes. If you watched both, do let me know in the comments down below what you think of version 44 changes. And thank you very much for watching.